Hey, this is Gene. I'm just watching Adam here. Let me stop this down for a second. Look, this is, I'm getting really, really frustrated with Manchester United fans. I just am, and also the media. If Kobe's been talking about leaving for 18 months, he won't sign the contract. I don't know what United has actually given him. I'm going to say it's probably neighbor 100,000 a week. He's on like 20 or I don't know. He doesn't have that much, right? He wants 200,000 a week or around there. So 10 times more than he already has. He's a decent player. Under different systems, he might be better, but we have to be honest here. He is not what we need in the midfield because he isn't quick enough. He just isn't. Now, if we want to go back to what we were before and do a different system, he can be okay, but he will still need the destroyer next to him, just like Bruno would have to be if he was there. You can't put Bruno and Kobe together. Bruno has to have somebody next to him that will get around and make up the plays. We hope that Ugarte was going to do that. I think he can do that, but I think something is wrong with him that he loses his mind a little bit too much in games. That can still be trained out of him. But this is David De Gea all over again. And let me remind you what happened with that. He's a legend of the club, always should be celebrated when he comes back. I don't know if it was his agent or whatever. He had a contract on his desk for months and months and months. It was a little bit lower than what he was normally getting. He was getting 350,000 a week, and I think United came in with like 10% less of that. It just it sat there, and he let his contract go down, and then he came back off of vacation. And at that point, Manchester United said, "You know what? We're going to go somewhere else. We're going to probably get a new guy in, and we need a ball playing type of goalkeeper." Unfortunately, the guy we got is not that good, but that was the way forward, and we let him go. And he waited. He was out of a job for over a year, and he's in Fiorentina, and he's a good player. He's a legend of the club. Always should be celebrated. You know, when you get the business part of it, I don't look at the man any differently. You know, obviously, they make their decisions. He made those decisions not to sign that contract that was on his decks for at least 6 months. A good fucking contract, 20 million a year, and he just said, "No, I need more," or his agent wanted more. And this revisionist, when we talk about De Gea, and also all the shit that he made mistakes. Again, great player. He has a champion. He won the championship here. Great saves. You can look at his reels. It looks like he's the greatest goalkeeper of all time. Clearly, he's the best one since Van der Sar for us. We're doing the same thing with Kobe, but Kobe does not have the same stuff that he can actually lean on and say that I did this for 10 years and I should get this money. Kobe hasn't done anything. He had flashes against great goals against City or against was that Wolves when he did that thing, and the one he did against in the Europa League last year. He got the tying goal. He clearly is a very talented player, but if you're going to get this type of coach to come in, and we're trying to find a good position for him, now I would have no issue at all if Bruno left and we got 100 million for him or 90 million, and we bought Balega, and it was him and Kobe right next to each other. Personally, I told you I want Manchester United to be less. I mean, we're so diverse. Way too many Africans. People say that's racist for me to say it. I don't know why. It's only is that way when somebody look like me says, "Well, why don't the players don't look like me anymore?" When it was just 10 years ago, 80% of the team was from, Europe. The game's changed. Personally, I don't think it's changed really well. I think that it shows the game is not as good as it used to be. But anyway, that's a different subject. But I'm listening. It's been going on for a couple of years, a couple of days, and it's like he's thinking about leaving. He's been thinking about this for 18 months, and everybody gives him credit because he's not doing anything behind the scenes. Well, somebody in his camp continually saying, I'm thinking about leaving. So obviously, is this to get more money? He'll never leave Manchester United. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy again was raised by guys that left this club that he looked up to when he was in the youth team. Guys like Rashford, Pogba that was there, Lingard who was there, Sancho that was over in City with their youth team. But when he came in, he looked at him because clearly he was older than him, and these guys were international football players. Like he said, he came in like a not even what the word is, a shining star, and he got to play for England, and he played well in the World Cup. But the system was set up for him. And again, if we get a destroyer right next to him in the midfield, great. He could be at Manchester United for the next 10 years and be in the first team. And I'm all for that. But we are just, at this point, I used to say that Arsenal fandom was clearly the worst. At this point, we are. When you go online, if they lose Kobe, then I'm not part of that project anymore. What? If the player is not going to sign a fucking contract after 18 fucking months, and then he's just sitting there putting out feelers that I want to move, what is the club supposed to do? Just give him more money? We wanted a new leadership here at this club, that we didn't want the players to have so much power, and we wanted to bring the costs down. Everybody now all of a sudden is supporting Kobe, but when all the other people in the background got fired, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe Ineos has done this shit. So why should Kobe, who is not a player that is a valued player at $200,000 a week? He just isn't. Now, do we have players on our roster right now that get more than that are not good enough? Yes. But when Ineos comes in, this is going to be our new thing, and now they're just going to break the bank for him? When he's been talking like he wanted to leave for the last a year and a half? I don't give a fuck who he is. The club is bigger than any player. We have to get that through our fucking mind. If you don't think that Rumen is the right guy, you need to explain why. You saw the first two games. We're one of the top 5 teams when it comes to XG. We're having opportunities, and we're just not doing it. Okay, this is a totally different team that we had last year. Now, Arsenal, we should have won. So that whole 90 minutes we played well. 40 minutes we played good last game. It was disturbing what I saw in the second half. I don't know what happened there. Maybe Fulham figured out how to stop us. I think that Bruno started doing his Hollywood pass sit again, and that showed us down. And the thing is, and it's just not, Kobe hasn't played, so I can't talk about him on the field. But guys like Ahmad who just goes down the channel and then stops and goes back. Instead of passing the ball, we had a 6'5" center forward in the game, and he got very few services. This has been a problem for Manchester United for years. We don't feed our number 9. So it almost becomes racial. The people that go on there and say I'm Kobe FC clearly look like him. They're not actually looking at what he's done in the last 18 months. Oh, but he's been in the background, and he's been training and everything like that, and he's not doing anything to the club. He's had an offer on the table for 1,000 years. They've talked and talked and talked and talked. He thinks he's worth $200,000 a week because he got called up by England. Okay. If he's not part of the solution, if he thinks he's bigger than the project that's being given to him, then he needs to fucking go. I don't care that he went to the youth team. It kills me that he's going to leave. I love him as a player, but he is not the most athletic player. And if we're going to play this type of system in this type of league that rewards that type of games, then he's going to have to go somewhere else. And you know what? He'll do well there. He might go to Napoli. And they might win the Champions League. But he is not good enough at the top level in this system to play. It's just, at this point, he's still only 20. And we're already thinking we have to just give him the keys to the kingdom, when there's players there that have done shit. Was Casemiro play? Did he play bad? No. We had several opportunities to win that game in the first 20 minutes. We didn't fucking do it. We can't just all of a sudden just get so upset with this, and the players, because they're going to be on social media, they're not going to fight for the fans. They're just going to think it is us against them. And I'm just saying, we need to just step back and let the man do his job. If it continues on and we can't, even though we have all these opportunities to score and we don't, at some point the manager has to go. But everybody that he's put off to the side, there's reasons for it. It's not, again, it's not like Kobe hasn't done things in the background that has been somewhat against the club. Just because he went to the youth team here, he has done the last 18 months that he has not been all about the club. It's all about, no, I need to get my money. And that's fine. You know, that's what the agent is for. And of course, these guys get agents that will push this shit. That's why we can't get of Garnacho. We can't get of Anthony. As much as I like Anthony and I like the player that Garnacho can be, they're doing the same shit. Or their agent's doing it. And if it's the agent that's doing it, it's the player. So, and it's been every time that we've had that. The only person that didn't do anything about any of this, really, is Rasmus. He just said, look, if I'm going to go, I just want to make sure it's going to be permanent. And McTominay. Now, again, I don't want to make it racial, but it seems like where we have the biggest issues is certain types of players from different demographics that do this shit right now. Now, again, you sign a contract, you should get everything you get on that contract. We shouldn't force Marcus to take less or Anthony or Sancho. I understand that they could do whatever they want to do to make it better for us. But when they sit there and say, I'm only going to go to Chelsea, or I'm only going to Barcelona, or I'm only going to Betis, then they're not doing anything for the club. And when a player comes out and says, for 18 months, I've had this thing and I will not do it. And then every 3 or 4 months, we get shit on the media saying he's thinking about leaving. And the same shit happened with De Gea. He thought he could play this because he was the best player that we had. It just showed how bad we were, even though we finished in the top 4 a couple times. It showed because he won Player of the Year, and he said, I have this leverage. So I'll just wait out, and I'll wait out and wait out. And then it becomes a business decision when you've been waiting and waiting and waiting not to sign the contract that the club had to say, you know what, we're going to go somewhere else. Now, again, he didn't come back and say anything bad about the club. Again, it's the same type of demographic. It's just weird to me that it happens to be that way, but it is. And I shouldn't go down that road, but it is. So even Maguire, who was about to he wasn't going to leave. He's like, you got to do this. He wanted to get his money too. He did. He wanted to be paid off as well. So again, it's not the demographic. But Maguire came back and humbled himself and had a great year, and now he's on the bench now. So, and we're just getting all spun up by it. I'm not, because I don't care if he leaves. Personally, I thought before that Bruno should leave. And if we get the right players, now look, I'm not a big fan of Balega. I'm not. I saw him against Brighton, or as for Brighton, and he just walks around quite a bit. So I don't think he's worth $100 million or whatever they're going to give him. But again, I'm not a coacher. I'm not a coach. If he becomes the destroyer that we have in the midfield, that we continually have the ability to hold on to the ball and continue to attack, great. But we know what we've done. We have a couple episodes in the game that we look like a football player team. But then we start doing this hooping over the midfield. We can't get it to the midfield to do anything with it, so we just hoof it up. Is the hope is that Sesko is going to be able to somebody to hold on to the ball like Fellaini did? Jesus, I would love to have Fellaini now. If we can't get through the midfield, Fellaini, I'm sure that his reception was probably about 80% when the ball was hit to him in the air. If we get past the midfield, maybe we can do something. But we are so, at this point, we're the worst fan base in all sport. And I'm in the United States, and there are really bad ones here. Philadelphia Eagles, the Cowboys fans, New York City, the Yankees fans, Florida Gators fans. It's just, but we are so full of ourselves. We haven't won the championship for 12 fucking years, and we think that oh no, we don't get what we want, and then we get on a line. There's so many people, and even Adam's one of them. And I like him as a dude. I like him as how he presents. But there's other guys like him, and some of them get over the top about shit. And we, as a fan base, we don't deserve any of it. We don't deserve any type of success because we're pieces of shit to the players at some points. Instead of talking about how they play on the field, we say shit about, well, he's this or this that. Now, I just said it in this video. All right, I made a correlation that could be stupid. It could be considered racist for me to say it, but it's something that you correlate with this. The game has changed so much, not just on the field in the Premiership, but also how much power that the players have. And we all wanted as a fan base is that we wanted somebody to come in and stop the player power. And now that we have it, and when a player starts doing the shit that other players have done before because he happened to be in the youth team, and a lot of people like, well, he's African. I'm Kobe FC. We forget all of those things that I said 2 years ago that I wanted to stop on this. Everybody is fucking wishy-washy when it comes to this. They're so hypocritical. Again, I waited on all these guys until they got fired. I would have stayed with Ten Hag. I would have stayed with Jose. I would have stayed for Van Gaal. Ole, I would have waited because I always thought the problem is the players. So I see one good year, one good day. We played really good against Arsenal, and we played good for half a game against Fulham, and then we just come out and we don't know what we're doing. Until we get to the point that we can, even when City loses, they still dominate the game. They still show the drive. Or if you're Newcastle, they're down to 10 men, down 2-0, and come back and should have won the game and lose at the end. And they continually go and go and go. We don't have that yet. And it's part of it is because who we have in the midfield, of course, and that needs to be addressed. Again, I would be 100% fine because Bruno, sell him, get Baleba, put Kobe next to him, and see where that goes. Let's see. I'm hopefully that we're going to do something today. We got to score a couple goals today. I'm going to stop right now, and we'll talk about it after the game. I'll give you my review how the game goes. I don't even know if they've changed I don't know if the game's been out yet, but I'm just watching. I just this was something that still just today. Romano is talking about Kobe. He said the next 20 or 48 hours we're going to know more about it. But Napoli wants to get Kobe. What? Then clearly we are valuing him under 50 million. But anyway, it's just to be a fan of this team before. Look, I was a fan of this team before the Premiership even started. So there's a lot of people that are in their 20s and 30s that have not seen us. They were kids, 8, 9 years old when we won the league, or we won the Champions League, and they're so used to winning everything that for the last 10 years they're just so upset with the club or about the ownership or the managers. Rarely they go after the players. And then when they do, it becomes this stupid shit. I can look at I can go away from what they talk about all that shit and look how they play on the field. Nobody is lighting the world on fire for Manchester United. They're just not. Not even Bruno. There's nobody can. I'm talking about on offensive side. Our defense, I think they've all. I mean, Euro, De Ligt, these guys are all good players, and they're the ones that we should say these are the guys who have actually played for the badge. But our forward line have not. They've had enough opportunities and they can't finish the ball in the goal. Anyway, I'm going to stop right now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Call me whatever you want to call me. That's fine. These are just every day when there's a lot more important things in the world going on, the Manchester United fans are just acting like fucking little women online. Anyway, let's talk about it in the comments. We'll talk to you guys later.